Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to share with you one ranked battle from High Diamond. I've been in champ as of yesterday, and I've fallen out. And this one battle was just fun enough that I wanted to do like a 3-minute video for you guys to share with you some of the power of some of the older cards that are in previous amazing reward cards that this game gave away for free. Check this out. So the rule set involved equalizer, so all of the monsters have the same number of hit points, and you probably already know what's about to happen. But here I am. That's my account, and my leader is the exploding dwarf. My opponent's trying the same thing. If you're trying this, one of the things about the rule set of equalizer is that you really want to put cards. You want to take advantage of the cards whose primary weakness happens to be low hit points. You see what I mean? Once you identify certain cards that are uniquely powerful, except for their hit points, Equalizer is a wonderful complement to them because it ends up lifting them out of that one deficit. In the Exploding Dwarf's case, it does huge damage. It's fast, it's got blast, it's got piercing, it's got retaliate and trample. The kit is amazing, and it's only 5 mana cost to play this card. And its one glaring weakness is the fact that it comes out of the gate with 1 hit point, but not an equalizer, and so it becomes so powerful and potent. But then notice what you're probably seeing on the board already as we're talking. My team on the bottom, my enemy's team on the top. He's focused. He's tried what I'm trying. He's doing the same Exploding Dwarf, but he hasn't taken the next step of really equipping that dwarf to win the battle. What do I mean? Well, look, I brought my Goblin Shaman for 1 slow and 1 weaken. The weaken is going to allow my trample to proc more frequently. The slow is going to allow my attack to be first. The chemist brings another slow and a headwinds in case my opponent is dropping archery. But the real issue there is the secondary slow. We've got 1 slow, 2 slows, and then the Flame Monkey for a 1 cost mana speed burst. And so these are old card. Oh, actually new card. 1, 2, 4 of these 5 cards are old. 4 of these 6 cards, monster cards, are old. I think this is a reward card. This is, I believe, an Untamed card. I believe that's an old reward card. Yeah, it's got the fire. I think so. Yeah, I think, and the Goblin Shaman also, I believe, is a reward, or it could be beta. But the power of old cards, because when we compare that to my opponent, he's got some great cards here too, like the Cobalt Miner. But what's he doing here? A sneak attack, an opportunity attack, a magic attack. He's got this mix of things going on, and I don't even really understand why the Goblin Fireballer would be in the 2nd position, because once it gets to, theoretically, once it reaches the 1st, it's gonna lose its ability to fire. And then this Scorched Fiend, this is a positional error. This should definitely be in the 2nd position, as mine is. Why? Because in Equalizer rule set, there's very little vulnerability to sneak attack. This sort of sneak attack play is pretty meaningless. Yes, he's doing 3 damage. He's gonna hit what? My Flame Monkey? Who cares? Yeah, I brought it because I want it, but it by no means is pivotal to my play. And I would argue that focusing on the front in Equalizer is far more important, because the tanks are going to be more pivotal than the support roles that are in the back line. So let's see what happens. It is quite quick. Once it starts, it ends really quickly. So look at the nerfs. Go to work. I'm obviously going to trample him, right? I'm doing 8 damage. He had 4 hit points. And then look at the blast damage. And here we go. 3 things killed before he even fired. He fires once. I killed half his team before he even moved. And then I killed... He literally got 1 attack that entire round. And it procced a retaliate, which procced a 2nd trample. And all that blast damage. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I suspect my Exploding Dwarf did something like, I think he attacked, let's count it quick, because he's doing 8 damage per attack. No, he's doing 12 damage per attack, because he does 8 to the main and 4 on the carryover. So He's doing 8 damage to the first position he hits and 4 blast damage. That's 12 damage. So 12 damage, 24 damage. And then we do 24 more. So I think it's 48 damage. There's another 12. So 36. We're at 48. Yeah, he did 48 damage in 1 round. The power of glass cannons in the right context, specifically equalizer match, and looking at certain key older cards that perhaps are more expensive but are worth your, they're worth your consideration. You need to decide for yourself whether or not the Exploding Dwarf would be worth 50 cents a BCX. What are we talking here? Let's see. Reward, fire, Exploding Dwarf. So the Exploding Dwarf is selling for about 50 cents a BCX. You can get, you would want, I would say if you're playing in Diamond, you really do want that trample. You could perhaps do without the extra hip, the extra melee, perhaps. But I would argue the trample is super clutch because with the retaliate, with the blast and pierce sting, the kit works so well together to trigger additional attacks with that trample. So 305 would cost you, look at this. This is max copy right there for 165 bucks. In my opinion, that's worth it. Now, you might not play fire. That might be a huge investment, and maybe it's too focused, and maybe you're not even in Diamond or Champion. Okay, then it's not for you. But this is an amazing card, and it's one more example of how certain key cards from other booster sets that you've never touched, maybe beta, alpha, promo, older rewards, they potentially could really unlock new power for you. And I think it's going to equip you to have great success in the wild format when we divide the rank leagues. And I do really strongly think there's going to be greater opportunity in the wild as opposed to the modern. That's my expectation, and that's because I think there's so few barriers for competition in modern due to the lower collection power requirements that I think that's gonna necessitate or imply, let's at least imply, 3 out of 4 players that play this game are gonna move into modern. That's my expectation, meaning that there's a bigger slice of pie for every player who plays in wild. For every single win, you're gonna get more DEC, more rewards, and so it might be worth looking at cards like this, guys. Think that through before the masses start thinking that through. I'm going to leave it there. Have an amazing day. Thank you for your time and attention. God bless.